Yeah, yeah. And I burnt that channel. Sinister grifters with a snake oil grin. Voracious virtue signalers cashing in. False PIs, they're fixing the game. Pointing fingers, but they're all the same. Innocent creators, moms with a cause. Digging through the chaos, exposing the flaws. We're hunting for clues, untwisting the lies. Who's driving this shit show straight to demise? Convertibles roaring, cliffs in sight. Like Thelma and Louise on a forever ride. They sail into YouTube fame, the crash is in sight. We're all on the ride, no brakes, no trust. Popularity is the spark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Or it'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust. That'll burn their channels in the dust. Bark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust. It's in the dust. That'll burn their channels. It's in the dust. That'll burn their channels. What's in the dust? The dust. The dust. We're all on the ride, no brakes, no trust. Popularity is the spark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust. Yeah. And I burnt that channel. It's in the gust. Sinister grifters with a snake oil grin. Voracious virtue signalers cashing in. False PIs, they're fixing the game. Pointing fingers, but they're all the same. Innocent creators, moms with a cause. Digging through the chaos, exposing the flaws. We're hunting for clues, untwisting the lies. Who's driving this shit show straight to demise? Convertibles roaring, cliffs in sight. Like Thelma and Louise on a forever ride. They sail into YouTube fame, the crash is in sight. We're all on the ride, no brakes, no trust. Popularity is the spark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Or it'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust. That'll burn their channels in the dust. Bark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust. It's in the dust. That'll burn their channels. It's in the dust. That'll burn their channels. What's in the dust? The dust. The dust. We're all on the ride, no brakes, no trust. Popularity is the spark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. I hope you guys are doing very well this morning, today. Let me make sure that I've got this, and I do. So, welcome, Nana. How are you? Kelly, it's great to see you. Moms with a cause, yeah. Anybody gets up on their high horse and starts doing their virtue signaling, they become trouble, right? And boy, was I right about Julie Skolnick, or was I right? Okay. Oh, waitress, welcome. Good to see you. Is this stream going to be about Vinny the Legend? It is, in fact, going to be about Vinny the Legend and his wife and his friends and other people that have fallen into the mindless trolls under the bridge, right? Look, I get it. Okay. And the only reason why I feel like I can speak out on this topic is because I lived it, right? I lived kind of what Vinny the legend and his wife and his friends, what they fell into, not not being aware of really and truly just how unhinged a lot of these people on YouTube truly are. I've said before, I think that YouTube it attracts a great deal of people that have serious mental health issues. I am in my real life quotation marks. I am a practicing psychologist, and so talking on uh, conditions or situations related to mental health is something that I'm comfortable doing, and I understand it and I know the information. And I've watched YouTube. What I mean by watched, I mean, I've been methodical for about 6 years, watching YouTube as a social media engine, watching the relationships that form, exploring and understanding the para the I'm going to go ahead and use the regular words, the virtual friendships, love affairs, relationships that people believe that they're experiencing, and then watching the fallout when those relationships do not meet their expectations. I think one of the things about, hey Diane, I am so glad to see you. I hope you're doing okay. It's wonderful to see you. Um, I think that YouTube is a bit unique as when compared to some of these other social media mediums like Facebook or Twitter. I think it's a little bit unique, or it was unique up until now. We've got Twitch and some other platforms that are gaining in popularity, like YouTube. But before the last year or two, YouTube was kind of the game, and it is a platform where anyone can make them a channel. They can make their content about anything they want it to be, and they can convince themselves that they are a media star, right? I mean, you've got some people that will have 12 viewers and they will spend hundreds of dollars to make a very cool looking background and work hours on a script for their show. And then they do the show and they didn't get any views, and they respond in a very aggressive, angry way. That is simply, unmet wish attainment. It that they have in their mind, as they're building their background, as they're writing their script, they're having this fantasy going on in their mind, driven primarily by narcissism. They're having this fantasy that's being played out where they're going to finally be discovered, that finally people are going to see that they are worthy and worthwhile, and they're going to get the respect that everybody's always denied them. And then they put it up, they go live, whatever, and there is no positive feedback at all. And in worst case scenarios, there will actually be trolls, people that will find it and then really troll that person really hard. And you basically see what is a catastrophic meltdown, and they become, you get to witness narcissistic rage. It's my opinion that Manny experienced narcissistic rage. That's my opinion. I do think that there are some psychological theories that I could go into that would explain all this, but what would be the point of that? Um, it would just sound like gobbledygook to a lot of people, but just in the reality of normal day-to-day living, Manny seems to be a guy who wanted respect. Manny was hiding a lot of stuff, or still is, I guess, right, Manny? Manny continues to be on the run. Julie, his woman, has basically wiped out her channel, taken all her videos down. YouTube has removed Manny's channel, but Vinny the Legend, the man that was killed, that was murdered, his channel remains up. And so we are going to look at that. But when I look at Manny, his old content, I was able to see some of it last night when the shooting first happened. I was able to see some of that. And then I ended up just burning out. I got tired early hours of the morning. And when I woke up today, it's most of it is gone now. And YouTube has removed his channel. I am a bit unclear if that is what caused the narcissistic rage. I'm wondering if they finally took Manny's channel and that was what the trigger was for the shooting. Okay. So for those of you who are regulars in my channel, I'm going to give you a parallel to this. Those of you that are coming in looking specifically for information on the shooting with Vinny and Manny, and maybe you are fans of Vinny, and if so, I'm sorry for your grief. I know it's very painful to lose a cherished friend or someone that you've enjoyed watching on YouTube. So where to start, right? It's a huge story. And let me go to this. All right. So what you're going to see here.
I had a blast. Hopefully y'all had a blast.
Now, this is the man that was murdered in the early morning hours. Okay. So this, I believe the murder was last night around 10:40, I think. And then you will see his wife.
Honestly, we probably finna go eat. If we go eat, I might cut it back on. If y'all gonna come back in, I'll cut it back on. But guarantee we'll cut it on tomorrow. But if we find somewhere to eat and it's like a good ambiance, I'll cut it back on tonight. But I appreciate all y'all for.
And that turns out to be quite prophetic, right? That they go and they do their thing, and then I think they came back and they started streaming again, and that was when the shooting happened, was later. So I think this was the earlier part of the evening.
Coming in here, 200 people. Finny's a streamer, y'all. Shout out to my boy Dub for showing up.
And he's got a lot of friends that come and hang out with him.
Shout out to my boy Jesse and his lovely wife for showing up. Shout out PM and Gabby for showing up.
That's actually his wife in the blue jean.
All right, y'all. I might, if I go eat, I might cut it on again, y'all, because this shit make me feel good when y'all come and watch. So I might cut it on again because I know y'all might come watch. All right, peace out. Much love. Be safe.
I'm looking for his wife. Okay, so this is his wife. And unfortunately, sadly, she too was shot and killed right there, same time. And in a very horrible, very 2025-ish way, there was another streamer that was streaming at the same time, and so the murder was caught on camera. And there were literally 1,000 people or more watching when all this happened last night. This is his wife, and she's a sweetheart. Like I said, his channel is still up. Now, I'm going to say this, and I hope I don't make anyone angry. It does seem like that Finny and his wife, their friend group, these were like the normal people, right? They were just having fun. They were just doing a live stream or doing a YouTube channel, and they were just trying to build up their channel. He would do panel discussions. He would take people out around Las Vegas. And when you listen to the live streams that they were doing, the panel discussions and such, they're just normal people. And I really didn't see anything that was really malicious. There is a little bit where, so this dude, Manny, the killer, who has not been arrested. Now, if he's being arrested right now as we speak, I don't know about that. But before I went live, I did check, and he is still on the run right now. And his wife has wiped out her channel. So it looks like to me that this dude, Manny, and I'm going to show you Manny, and I don't, look, you need to turn yourself in, because you were the problem and you were the killer, period. So the dude Manny, has got little man syndrome, right? He's very, very short. He works on his muscles to be all built up, and he's wearing this enormous, giant, clunky jewelry. He just ostentatious, just bizarre, painting his face up like a court jester and then going out into the Strip or onto Fremont. So all those things that we would look at that might suggest a problem with narcissism, Manny kind of fit the bill, right? Finny and his wife were just like regular people. They're just normal, fun, regular, normal guys, right? Their friend group, just regular, normal people, fun people. Manny, on the other hand, his group, you really get this vibe of, either they're wannabe gangsters, gang members, or they're pretending to be gang member. It's hard to know, because there are people that are truly dangerous gang affiliates, and then others that are just kind of playing the role. So I think that Manny has been melting down, right? Let's see, I've got a video here. Let me find it. Let me see where it is. Yeah, right here. So let me change what I'm sharing with you. And I'll show you what I mean by he's been melting down. Okay, so this live stream was 4 weeks ago, right? So this live stream was 4 weeks ago. Jojo, the man you're going to see that's been assaulted, he's friends with Manny. And I'm sorry, with Vinny. And Manny attacked him. Punched him, sucker punched him. He wouldn't look in, hit him from out of nowhere. So we'll play this. And this was 4 weeks ago. And that's why I think that he was in, I think he was in narcissistic collapse, right? I think the feud between Manny and Vinny, and what I mean by feud is this. one of them would go live and say, screw you, you're not a good person, you're embarrassing, you're a clown. Then the other one would go live and say, screw you, you're embarrassing, you're not normal, you're a clown. And then the next one would go live and say, well, we hate you and your wife is fat. And then the other one would respond and say, well, we hate you too when your wife is fat and ugly and her friends are fat. And then they have just been doing this stupid, childish nonsense for maybe around a year. It's been going on back and forth. For the people that are my regular subscribers, I'm going to tell you what it is. It is a perfect analogy to allegedly with Brittany J, Cluminati, Jazz for Justice, Granny's Watching. It's exactly the same crap. One of them goes live, they throw shade. Then the other one has to go live and throw shade back. And then another person goes live and throws shade. And then another person has to go live. And then you get your feelings hurt, just like Manny. And then you have to start doxing people. You have to go real life, which Manny, it seems to me, and if I'm wrong about this, those of you that know you were fans of Vinny and you know the story, because I don't. I didn't know anything about Vinny and Manny until last night when the shooting happened. So if I'm stating this wrong, please correct me. But I do think, based on the research that I was able to do in less than 24 hours, it does seem like to me Manny was the first one to go real life. Manny doxed. Who did Manny dox? It's hard for me to remember without my notes, and I don't want to take time to read them. Manny doxed someone that was friends with Vinny. And so then Vinny had to respond, right? And when you watch Vinny's responses, he's not angry. When Vinny responds, he's kind of like joking around and laughing like, oh my God, this dude is such a weirdo. He's such a clown, right? And then somebody doxed one of Manny's, I think it was his wife's friend. So then they go they go real life with the doxing nonsense, the photography nonsense, putting up each other's live streams and playing one another's live streams, making fun of each other throughout the show, making fun of each other's spouses, their children. Does this sound like anything familiar for anyone? And then finally, this happens 4 weeks ago. So I'm going to play this video for you. Let me make sure y'all can see this. Whoops, add to stage. There you go. All right. And so then this happened 4 weeks ago. Remember, please remember, this started with yeah on the internet, YouTube to be specific. And if YouTube would enforce their terms of service, maybe these two wonderful people would still be alive. And then you got what is basically a criminal who is on the run. Okay? And I'm going to promise you this. No way in hell did Vinny and his wife ever believe that this little clown of a man would show up with a gun. They never believed that. But why not? Why wouldn't you believe that? You've got to understand something. Just because you see someone on YouTube and you're familiar with their name and you talk about their name all the time, look at how they live their lives. Are they felons? Did they serve time in a penitentiary? Do they use a lot of drugs? Do they do a lot of threatening you with your life? Gonna beat you up, not care? They got so many arrests, their rap sheet is long. Pay attention to who it is that you're goading, who you're poking and making fun of every night. Be careful. People that engage in regular criminal activity, those are people that are unstable. They have personality disorders, and they may very well have a full-blown mental illness like bipolar, schizophrenia, cyclothymia, any manner of things. And I'm disgusted by the whole nonsense. You get proof. You take a couple of days, you don't talk about each other, you don't speak about one another, and there is no retaliatory videos. So what do? You jump right back in and do another video where you're talking about them. Okay, let's see what the future is going to look like. This happened to one of the friends, not Vinny or Manny, but one of the friends 4 weeks ago, which shows there was an escalation in the breakdown of the individual, not the YouTube personality, but the individual was in narcissistic collapse.
Just because he saw Jojo by himself. That's why.
Oh yeah, look, he ripped his lip. Oh yeah, he got his lip.
Look, he punched him really bad.
He's a motherfucker. So Javi wants to watch the video.
Who wants to watch it?
Javi. So he wants to know what happened because they want to watch.
It happened right here.
The video.
It happened right here. Right here. Right over there. Hey guys, I don't know, but it happened right there in the corner, and he got smacked in the face. He got punched. I don't know, guys. He just we're going home already, and he called.
And notice they're at the Fremont Experience. See to the top right corner, same place where we see the last video where Vinny is saying how much fun he's had, and his wife is dancing. And they're with their big group of friends, and they're fixing to take a break and go and eat. There's videos that show them gambling. They're just having fun. They're just having a normal time. This was an area, and in a lot of these videos, so in two of the videos that I went through to try to educate myself, you can clearly see Sin City Manny's wife walking back and forth, watching Vinny and his wife, or watching the group. They were being stalked. I got stalked. I know who did it, and the bitch knows that I know who did it. But. I don't have my I don't want my picture, my name affiliated out there with the people that I have contracts with. And for a long time, people were saying, "Oh, you're not a psychologist. You don't work, blah, blah, blah," which I was happy with that. That's exactly what I wanted everybody saying. And then at some point, one of the organizations that I work for, it came out that I worked for them. And so the only way anyone would have been able to know that would be if I was followed. So somehow, somewhere, I would have left my house. Now, I knew that they had doxed my house. I knew that they knew where I lived. But that never came to pass because it wasn't embarrassing, right? They weren't able to use that to embarrass me or put me to shame. So they were just biding their time trying to come up with something that would make me feel ashamed. But they followed me, and I apparently went to work, and then once they had that, then they put that out there. These trolls are for me, the group that I was dealing with, I believe they do this to any new creator where their channel is getting a lot of attention and may become successful in the true crime genre. I've sat back and watched this unfold, and it happens time and time and time and time again. Brittany J is one of those where her channel began to take off, right? Her channel began to really grow fast, which then threatens this other person. And she began to experience everything that I did. So some people, though, have the ability to just shut things down and walk away and not respond to the jabs and the attempts to get an emotional reaction. They know that on YouTube, if you get upset and you go live and you're crying and you're accusing everyone of, being attacking you and bullying you, then they love that. Then they play it and they laugh and they say, look, ha, ha, ha. Then they switch. Their narrative is to turn it around and say, no, 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 you're the bully. And then you're lost in the quagmire. Then they've got it. They got the narrative. And at that point, then they can begin to make up lies. They can begin to make up lies. If you don't have anything that they can actually shame you with yourself, then they will construct accounts and things and say, this is your account. And look how embarrassing what you did. Right? I mean, they do it the same. It's the same process every time. And so when you are the target of that kind of organized, I guess, humiliation campaign, when you're the target of that, it feels very isolating. You feel very helpless. Like, I don't mean helpless like a lost child, but you feel like, wow, I'm not doing these things. And when I try to explain that I'm not doing these things, that is not my account, then they say things like, see, that's a lie. When you start trying to over explain and give too much details and you're lying, no, it's not. People that are being lied about get very angry and they will give you a ton of details, thinking that with all these details that you will go and verify that what is being said is true. But you're missing the point. These are not honest people. These are not honest, ethical people that care about the truth. They are enjoying being a part of a group together and targeting you. So Vinny was first the target of Sin City Manny. Sin City Manny threw out the first jabs. Why? Because Vinny was new on the scene. Manny had been doing it for a while. Vinny was able to go live in the same cool areas of the city for like tourists and whatnot. And Manny felt like, I'm guessing here, I think Manny would have felt like that someone was moving in on his turf, threatening his income. Is that what is happening with Brittany J and all her friends? Is that why they became a target? Because other channels felt like their money was getting affected by her growing popularity? And I think with Manny, as he sees, oh, wow, my income is going down, my viewership is going down, people really like Vinny and his wife. And like I said, again, Vinny and his wife were normal, right? They're just regular people. And that made them very attractive for other people to want to watch. And Manny got, in the general strain theory, shoot, I can't talk about like that. So there's something called general strain theory that explains why, like, for example, we use general strain theory to understand something like filicide. Like, shoot, see, I didn't want to go this deep into it. So Christopher Watts, the general strain theory is a perfect description theory of what may have happened with Chris Watts, what brought him to that point of murdering and wiping out his family. It doesn't, however, the general strain theory doesn't I can't talk about this without, okay, I'm going to switch gears and go back to keep it short and simple. So Manny is making money and he's playing out, oh, I'm such a gangster. And inside, Manny is like, I'm a little short, fat kid. None of the other kids like me. The bigger guys are mean to me. I don't have any friends. And then puberty hits and he starts realizing that maybe he's getting a little bit bigger. He's growing some muscles. And he's like, oh, well, I'll never get taller, but I can work really hard and get bigger muscles. And then I'll look scary. I'll dress in a frightening, scary way. And I'll talk like a badass. And then people won't know that the real me hidden deep inside is still that same little bully, little fat kid that didn't have any friends, right? That's the real Manny. And so then he starts a YouTube channel, and knowing he lives in a city that is a tourist destination, a vacation spot. And he says, look, maybe I can review the city and people will come and watch. And he is loving this because he's getting now his narcissistic supply. The people that are coming to learn about Las Vegas, the city, he mistakenly believes that they love him. He falls under a delusion that he is celebrity. And then ABC companies starts paying him money every month. Then he's like, I got to grow so I can make more money. And he's now awash in just personality disordered thinking. The cognitive distortions are driving him, including driving his emotions. And so he thinks, I've just got to build my channel. I got to be more outrageous. I got to do these things. And along comes innocently, Vinny and his wife, who are just wanting to have a YouTube channel because everybody now wants to have a YouTube channel. But for Manny, it wasn't that innocent. For Manny, he's that little fat kid back in elementary school that nobody wants to be his friend. And he's watching his numbers dwindle. And they're at the same time his numbers are going down, Vinny's numbers are going up. And so now he's blaming Vinny. He's saying, you are hurting me. You are taking away my popularity. You are taking away my money. You are taking away my sense of control. And that was the first blow to Vinny, was to try to shame him, to try to use his words to show the people, quotation marks, that Vinny was not worthy of their time and attention and viewership. And then Vinny got mad or hurt or playful about this little angry rooster, fussing at him. And so then Vinny made a joke of it and hit back in a playful way. Well, if Manny is already in meltdown, feeling under threat, feeling a loss of control, feeling that narcissistic rage bubbling up, And Vinny's response is one that's laughter, turning Manny into a clown. How do you think Manny's going to respond? He's furious. He spent years leaving that little bullied fat kid behind. He didn't want a resurrection of that on YouTube with everybody to see. And yet what did Vinny do? Made fun of him. What did Vinny's panel and friends do? Made fun of him. I mean, this got rough. But in no way was it any different than what you're seeing right now in the true crime community. We need to pay attention to this. We need to listen to this.
Yeah, we talked to Javi. He's on it already. He already let everybody know. He's the one that got everybody already moving on the.
4 weeks ago, people. 4 weeks ago, there are literal fists thrown, and it was Manny hitting one of Vinny's friends.
The case.
And did YouTube step in? Did YouTube do anything? Well, in all of this year that the back and forth has been going on, with Vinny thinking this was just fun, normal YouTube banter, right? Just throwing shade. He just thought it was a game. In the same way that Vinny thought, I guess this is what you're supposed to do on YouTube, Manny is dealing with very real personality disorder rejection, to a point that he lost control of himself and he physically assaulted a person. It went from that to 1 month later, these two good people being dead. And Manny is on the run. You cannot underestimate when people have personality disorders, you cannot underestimate the power of rejection and humiliation. It is enough that if they go into narcissistic collapse, they don't care what they do. Travis Decker. There's an example of a man dealing with personality disorder problems where the humiliation that he experienced, the shame that he experienced, the loss of control or perceived control that he experienced was sufficient to drive him to murder his 3 baby girls. And he too is on the run. I mean, I don't know how many times this age-old story has to repeat itself before we start paying attention. The bullying that happens on YouTube and other social media platforms. But for YouTube, it's different, I think. And the reason that I think why the YouTube bullying becomes very lethal as compared to, say, Twitter, is because there's a team. Because each of the two creators that are going against each other, they have their teams. So it takes on like this NFL-esque quality. And you don't just have one-on-one like you would like with Twitter. You end up then having all these offshoots of smaller channels, full panel discussion. And if you're the person being targeted, you can really begin to feel isolated, frightened, angry. It is a horrible experience when you become the target. And, for J is for Justice, here's something that I didn't really understand. And I still don't really. And I don't know J. I don't know her other than like what comes out, on YouTube. But the thing I don't get about her is that several years ago, she had an event where, she's a bonehead. Like, she did something that was just remarkably foolish. And you don't understand, like, it's hard to get why someone would be that foolish or dumb. Like, why somebody would do what she did without awareness. I mean, it was really a weird thing. But here's the point: everyone expected that she would be finished, right? Everybody expected for YouTube that this would be the thing that she did, the foolish choice that she made, that it would be something that would be sufficient to sort of cause her to lose a cascading amount of subscribers, right? And I think she thought that. And the reason, I'll tell you why I think she thought that, because the live that she did when she finally came back, she was very humble and very uncomfortable, very embarrassed. And, you know, she did absolutely handle it, I think, in a perfect way. And that was basically to just say, you know, I did it. It was stupid. And I'll answer any questions you have and tell me what you want to know. And nobody really was there for the live. And you could see it in her face. She thought she was finished. Like, you could see it. So, and you know what, Jay? No one piled on, did they? Like, people, the true crime community showed her grace. You know what I mean? And I just wonder if Jay has ever shown another creator grace. She definitely received grace. There were a lot of people that just said, okay, not a biggie, let's move on. And probably a lot of that is because she did handle it very well by coming on and letting everybody see her humiliation, which is gross in and of itself, right? That we even live in a world that people think you're entitled to see another person's humiliation. That's gross too. But, you know, Jay, she managed it like effectively because people were very forgiving and open to letting bygones be bygones. So I just wonder why, when people receive grace, I just wonder why they don't show grace in the future after they've been the recipient of grace. It's hard to guess. But I think in this situation with Vinny and Manny, I think Manny was humiliated. I don't think there's any other way to look at it. He just was humiliated. He saw his YouTube channel losing popularity. And here's another part. They had begun striking each other's videos. Does that sound familiar, YouTube true crime community? They began striking one another's videos, and Manny was at a point where he could only get one more strike. And Vinny's channel was instrumental in effectively getting enough people to go over and strike Manny's videos that he was down to only one more chance with YouTube. And if he had gotten that third strike and it had stood, he would have lost his channel. And now, let's see. Okay, I guess I could go down here.
If Finny was here, you tapped his ass, what you do, bitch? You kept fucking walking, but you want to fucking fuck with JoJo? No. Like,
you're a motherfucker, asshole.
He is a pussy, and I'm sorry, but he is, and that's it. Like, no. And then the fact that we found out right now, the guy told me, he goes like, he didn't tell you guys, Machete punched him first. I'm like,
what? On the camera.
I'm like, JoJo.
Okay, so you can see it's just nonsense, right? All right, stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Now then. Let's see. So I think this is the okay, so this is the actual shooting. And it happened in front of the Bellagio where the fountains are. What?
Still have this area blocked off. We are at South Las Vegas Boulevard on the 3600 block. It goes all the way down to Flamingo. We have literally this whole entire area of the strip is completely blocked off right now. But here's what we do.
Please remember,